Now, a little bit harder, please, a little bit harder, please, a little bit harder. Now, much harder. Please make some noise for your next act, Eva Lecoste Meyer.
Thank you. Oh, thanks, Dave. I love when people do that because I have no friends. So this always feels good. This is why comedians do this, by the way. It's for validation and attention, not because we're actually that funny. Just so you know. Yeah. I am Ava, they tell me. I work for the NHS, so I have a badge, which is good, because when I forget who I am, I can just check. And also, always my place of work is signposted, so that helps me a lot. They don't signpost the way home, which is me. And I spend a lot of my time not walking, but lost. It's okay, honey. You can come play here too if you like. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to tell you that I got all blue badged up because I did something really brave and heroic. I didn't. I mainly just fell in a puddle in Bristol. Yeah, it was unfortunate. It was witnessed by a lot of people as well, which was almost the worst thing, except none of them laughed, which is wonderful because it is funny when fat ladies fall over. But none of them laughed. This one lady came over to help me. She was like, "Are you right, darling?" And I was like, "No, I'm in a puddle." And then I realised how that sounded, and I said, "I didn't pee myself." And she said, "No, well done, I would have." So I found my people, and they're in Bristol. Which is a shame because I live in Swansea. I know. You can tell from my accent I don't live in Ponty, can't you? Yeah, in fact I was dating this chap a little while ago and he goes, "Where's that accent from?" And I said, "It's from me." And he said, "Yeah, but where were you born?" I said, "Zimbabwe." And he goes, "Oh, which part?" I said, "All of me." Anyway, that didn't last long. I have some struggles with dating. I think it might be due to my fast encroaching very old age. And I mean, we've had some young comedians here going, "I am but a babe," but I'm like, bastard. I'm in my 50s now. No, really, I am. Thank you. And I'm single again. I'm a widow, actually. I hope. If it's all gone to plan. No, I'm kidding. I just realised I made a rookie mistake and forgot to set my timer, so I'm going to be here a lot longer than you guys want me. So, anyway, that man has more lives than a cat, unfortunately. We're splitting up. It was never going to work out, in fairness. We got married far too young. And there was this day once I have an asthma inhaler and I put it in my bag, and the bottom of my bag's a bomb site, and there was like a 5-penny piece in my inhaler, and I tried to take my inhaler and ironically was nearly murdered by my safety breathing device because I was choking on this 5-penny piece. My husband looked at me for a bit, he's a bit slow, bless. And then he hit me on the back and money flew out of my mouth, and he thinks now, even these years later, that all you have to do is hit a woman and money comes out. So, yeah, I know. It's okay, you're allowed to laugh at domestic abuse if it's me telling the joke. So, anyway, I am single and I spend a lot of my time in places like this looking for men. Because the dating apps, they just don't work, you know? I mean, I met some people, I tried all of the apps. I was married for far too long. Let's face it, you know, when I first started dating I was 18 and then I got married when I was 20 and then I emerged from my marriage at 45 because I have the patience, saint. And then I didn't know how to date. And suddenly there are these apps, I tried them all. I tried Hinge, OkCupid, Tinder, don't do that one. Plenty of Fish, don't do that one. Airbnb. To be fair, the host was surprised. But I gave him a good review. So, it's not worked out. I've decided to stop using dating apps, to be fair, because they just don't work and there's a lot of creeps on those. You know, like there was 20p sandwich guy. I need wine to tell you that one. Not a gentleman. There was caravan murder guy. Nearly got killed. There was There was pornographer John, sorry, photographer. Yeah, it didn't go well. Simon the cat. Yeah. So I decided to hang out places where men hang out, so I joined a micro-penis support group. Had a lot of fun. Nice to see you again, boy. Anyway, yeah, moving on. So I am splitting from my husband. He's got a new girl. It's all right. I'm prettier, smarter, funnier, not bitter. He's on a health drive. He wants to get slender for his love. I reckon he should reach his goal weight at around about 7 pounds, including the urn. I myself did go on a bit of a health drive as well to try and, fit into society's modern idea of what a sexy woman in her 50s should be. I took steps to avoid escalators. I decided to go cycling, but I couldn't go cycling. I tried to buy a bicycle pump. Do you know what those things cost? They're like 30 quid now. I guess that's inflation for you. So, yeah, I know, it's bad, it's bad. That's a dad joke, that is. That's a dad joke. I'm not a dad. I'm a mother. I'm a great mother. I love my kids. I'm such a good mother. I never fed my children frozen convenience food. I always took the time to warm that shit up in the microwave. I did. So I think, I felt like I would tell you about a particular date that I had. This was after Caravan Murderer Guy. So I thought, and it was also after Psycho Dave, who I dated for a bit. And Psycho Dave was, when I met him, he was just called Dave. And he told me he was a nice guy. And I believed him, and I'm a nice girl, so I thought we had a lot in common. And he said he loved animals. I love animals. I have a rescue dog. I have a rescue Siberian Husky, but she got into trouble because she ate one of my curtains, and then she had to go for surgery, and they shaved her belly, so now she's a Brazilian Husky. But anyway, so he said he liked animals. He said he worked with animals. Work with animals, my ass. Man's a butcher. And it turns out he was a drug addict. He's addicted to Viagra. I took it hard. Fond memories. Anyway, moving on from Psycho Dave. Yeah, so then there was Caravan Murderer Guy. After him, I decided I was going to go mainstream and date someone boring. And we were so boring, this guy and I, when we dated, that we went out for a date for Sunday lunch. That's how old I am. Tragic. So we were at the Sunday lunch, quite a nice pub. He was eating his way valiant through everything on the table. I was so bored I wanted to stab my eyeball with a dinner fork. So I thought, no, I'm going to just drink all the things. And boring guy, he was so boring, but he had good manners, so he kept filling up the wine glasses, with the very predictable result that by about 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, I was, as Julie puts it, rat-assed. It's very sad. I'm not usually rat-assed at 3 o'clock on a Sunday because I'm a very old lady. I am indeed menopausal. And in fact, so menopausal, I decided to try and be more creative with my time. I wanted to write a book on dry vaginal skin, but the publisher wouldn't accept it because they said I should have used paper. But it's a rookie mistake. It could happen to anyone. I'm sorry, she looks ill now. I feel bad. Anyway, so I knew it wasn't going to be a great date when I went out with Boring Guy because I got up in the morning and it was Sunday, and I was trying to make myself a cup of tea, and I found a tampon in my teacup and I'd lost my tea bag. So it was never going to go well. But anyway, so we're at lunch. I was squiffy. He said to me, Ava, you need coffee. Now, drunk me is very compliant. That's not an invitation. Very compliant. So I went, okay, let's have coffee. He said, let's go to your house and have coffee. And of course, I told him exactly where I live because I don't know how to date. No one tells a man where they live, do they? Except me, I do that. So anyway, I said fine, and he took me to my house because he wants coffee, right? I didn't know. You see, you know expecting a beverage. I didn't know that. I've got fucking L plates on my forehead. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so we go to my house. I go inside. I put the kettle on. He goes through to the living room. I come back to the living room. He's like, what have you been doing? I said, I put the kettle on. And he goes, why? And I'm like, I'm too drunk to explain. That's how coffee happens. I don't know. Anyway, so he then kissed me. And I was like, oh, this is less boring. Drunk me likes kisses. Again, not an invitation. Anyway, so he kissed me and I was like, oh, that's nice. And then he pushed me slightly so I'd sit on my sofa, and I like my sofa, and drunk me is compliant. So I was like, okay. And then he started to undo his belt. And I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay. I know. And he stood there in front of me and he took out the sweetest, saddest little penis I've ever seen. Now, I have had a number of boyfriends who weren't blessed in that department, including one man who insisted on knowing, like about 3 chats in, whether or not I was manicured or natural. And I said to him, listen mate, I'm 50 years old, okay, if you don't like it, don't eat it. But when things got to that point, he had the most prolific pubic hair I've ever seen in my life. And when we got down to business, he literally took 12 seconds in the sack. So I like to call him the fast and the furious. But this guy, Mr. Boring, we were in my living room and he took out little Boris, because it's his Johnson, and he immediately came in his hand. I know, I'm that good. And I thought at this point he would go to a bathroom, recover his manhood or whatever you guys do in there, and then I would just make the coffee, because I was cool with it, because I was drunk and I didn't really want it anyway. And no, that's not what happened. He put Boris away slimy, and he just picked a handful from my nice coffee table in my nice living room, in my nice house, my nice tissues, the ones with the flowers on the fucking box, picked up a handful of tissues, did a less than adequate job, and dropped them on my coffee table. Then the kettle switched off, so guess how long that all took. Then he sat on my sofa with his slimy hand and his slimy little Boris and his slimy pants and went to sleep. 20 minutes later, he went, okay babe, I'm off. Fecked off out of my house, leaving his cum rag on my table. Which is why I've come here to tell you today that when I talk about cum rag guy, I'm not trying to butcher the Welsh language. I bid you good night. You've been awesome. Thank you.
Even the cost time, everyone, give it up. Okay, so we're going to have a little 10 to 15 minute break now, right? So we're going to try and get more seats in the room, because there's fucking loads of you. So we're going to try and get more seats in the room, pinning these forward and everything. So when you come back, your seats might be different. So please give it up for the 2 acts you saw that section before you go, everyone. Thank you very much. See you in 10 to 15.